Hello, everyone. Today we're having the session, a webinar on mental health in everyday life. We have a speaker, Anuja Kulkarni, and she will talk about, say, about the understanding and managing our mental health in like it is very crucial in today's fast-paced world. So this webinar will equip you with practical tools to identify and regulate emotions, recognize stressors, and adopt healthy coping mechanisms. So Anuja, over to you. Sure. Are you all on mute?
Hello, everyone. Hope I'm audible to all of you. And we are starting the session. Well-being is something which is we all want to have well-being in our lives, and we always believe that what's there in it. Like, if I'm not ill, if I'm not stressed, then there is something which is called as well-being. Then I'm happy only. So let's just have a quick look at how much are we in our well-being. So I've got a quick checklist for all of you. I'm going to read each one of them because the intonation also matters a lot. And you can just go through it. The slide is exactly in front of your eyes. And you just have to count yes answers on your left hand and no answers on your right hand. Okay? Just count a number. If your answer of a particular question is yes, then count your fingers on left hand. If no, then count your fingers on your right. So, first question is, I often think, if not this, what else could have been my day-long engagement? Like work-wise, what else could I have done? Second, you just have to count finger, yes or no. Okay. I often laugh over things, have lighter moments which with others, and ensure to cover up missed out work in that particular laughing or humor zone later on, but I feel guilty about it. Hmm? I know that living in the moment is needed. However, at times my work, at times my family responsibilities do not allow me to enjoy enough. I hope you're counting fingers. I often find myself worrying a lot. I feel that harmony at my companionship front or my home front or my work front is maintained more or less because I end up managing a lot. So everything looks like a rosy good picture because I have to do a lot. I hope you are counting fingers. I want to argue, but I often give up because I don't want it to get converted into a fight, but then regret later. Sometimes I want to get angry, but I end up crying or working on the topic of conflict itself. So I don't get angry. Instead, इसकी कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं है ऐसे करके I just end up the topic. I experience certain time phases where I don't want to do anything, even if it usually interests me. So probably I'm very much excited to do something, but when it comes to actually doing it, I'm not really very interested. Sometimes I have cramps, muscle ache, pain in my hands, legs, head, back, which is unexplainable because of any physical reason. Sometimes I have to tell myself that I'm good at whatever I do. I feel that compared to others, I have got lesser opportunities in general. Were you all counting fingers? So far, I hope you were. And if you were, and if the answer yes has come more than 3 times, then at some or the other level, currently also your well-being is challenged. Okay. So this all together is something that we talk about well-being. Okay. So it was just a gentle reminder that we thought that well-being was enough, but probably it was not. And probably we are taking ourselves for granted for whatever reasons, but we are taking ourselves for granted. So I'll repeat again. If the left hand fingers were chosen more than 3 to 4 times, that means your well-being is challenged at one or the other level. Okay, so let's have a deeper look at what well-being is. So personal well-being is a pervasive state of feeling content, like feeling good, feeling happy. When you sleep every day, you sleep with a feeling that, I'm feeling good. Generally, my day was good. People around me are happy. My pet is happy with me, and I am happy with myself. Okay. So, not a very Bollywood kind of a picture, but pretty much content about various aspects, may it be physical health, not feeling guilty about having back to back two pani puris, not feeling guilty about having chocolate ice cream, not feeling guilty about backbitching about my colleague. Okay, so feeling generally content, family adjustments, and your work life. So this is all together your personal well-being. Okay, so generally these two are components of our well-being. One is positive emotion and one is negative emotion. Again, I'm going to do one small activity with you all. So just try to remember one person that always upsets you. Remember? Good. One thing that always bothers you. Remember? Good. One particular type of work which you really hate but have to do every day. Remember? Good. One person which you don't like to interact at all at your workplace but have no other option. Remember? Super. Now, just take a while and try to remember other things. Like one thing in life, okay, that you are grateful for, you're really thankful for. Remember? I hope yes. One thing or one person whom you always wanted to say that, I'm really glad that you are there in my life. Remembered? Okay. One thing that you really like doing and you do every day. Now, just a question and reflection to yourself. Were the first set of questions, the answers were easily occurring to you or was for the positive emotions? Research suggests that whenever it comes to positive emotions, they don't come to us very fast. But naturally, the negative emotions are extremely powerful. Okay, that's why they affect the most. See, imagine a situation where you have got a new vehicle and you are very happy about it. अरे मैंने ईवी ले लिया, अब मैं कभी भी गैस भरने के लिए कभी भी लाइन में खड़ा नहीं रहूंगा, एनवायरनमेंट के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. The moment somebody else takes a better vehicle than you, your happiness is just gone. Okay. Same goes for your car. You got a new car, it's an achievement, everybody praises. Next day, you see a scratch on your new car. Happiness is just gone. So, happiness is a very powerful but not such a long lasting kind of an emotion. You have to take active and conscious efforts for that. Okay? Whereas negative emotion का ऐसा नहीं है. उनकी तो आदत ही है फैलना. So if I'm not feeling good, okay, about something, I come to office, that person about whom I'm very angry, okay, that person is not there. But I see another colleague of mine. So what do? I talk about her or him to this colleague. Okay. Now this colleague, he has a lot of time. Okay, he or she. She adds up something more regarding that particular colleague. You know what? कल आपके बारे में ऐसे हुआ, परसों तो मेरे भी बारे में ऐसा ही हुआ. Then these two people nicely work and they go for chai. Okay. There they meet third friend of theirs. Then they discuss again. Then it increases and it spreads. Fourth day, when actually the colleague regarding whom everybody is upset actually shows up in the office and he just says hi, our natural reaction is So that bitterness is carried. Same goes for fear. Do you really think we all have gotten bitten by a running dog? Not really. But कहीं भी कोई भी कुत्ता अगर रास्ते से दौड़ते आ जाए तो हमें लगता है कि मुझे ही काटने के लिए आ रहा है. How? Have you all experienced getting bitten by a dog? Not really. We have heard stories about it. We have known that people had to undergo 16 injections because they got bitten by a dog. So fear, negativity, anger have tremendous capacity, okay, to basically go on expanding. That's the reason why when it comes to well-being, it is very, very important to manage these negative emotions. Okay. People have nice ways to deal with these negative emotions. So let us just have a look at a few of them. Meanwhile, whatever I am saying, are you able to relate to me? If not, if I'm going too fast, just let me know. If you don't agree to something, let me know. If you want to add on something, please let me know. Also, you have an option of putting your question personally to me in the chat box so that while I'm later on going to explain with few examples, I would be answering those questions without taking your name. So people have these funny ways of dealing with emotions. First one of them is denial. So if something goes wrong to them, the first thing that they say, कुछ नहीं हुआ है, कुछ नहीं, everything will be sorted. Okay, so people have amazing coping strategies like just listening to music, going for a walk, and just saying कुछ नहीं हुआ है, कुछ नहीं हुआ है. So they deny the problem because they feel that what will others say. So that's why they deny. Then there is this second type of communication of seeking probable help is indirect communication. Many of us use that in everyday life also they use that. So in indirect communication you start addressing to the problem by saying मेरे एक दोस्त के लाइफ में ना ये हुआ उसने क्या करना चाहिए. So it's a very indirect way of seeking help. Also, sometimes we feel bad because we often have fights amongst each other. Do you know why there are fights and why they never lead to solution? Let me give you one simple example of our everyday life. So imagine that I'm trying to call my husband twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, and he doesn't pick up the call. Okay, he doesn't even have a courtesy to call back because he's probably busy too. I am busy too. So imagine a kind of conversation when we both land up at home in the evening. How would that conversation would typically look like? Why didn't you pick up my call? You didn't even call back. Okay? Did you even like feel that, I could have probably dying also. I could have been in a crisis also. Do you know what my husband would say, or any husband or any spouse or any individual on the earth say? Option number 1. हाँ मैं तो ऐसे ही बैठा था ऑफिस में, ऐसे ही चाय पीते रहा था, खा पी रहा था, इसीलिए मैंने तुम्हारा फोन नहीं उठाया. Second, but nothing happened to you. You are fit and fine. What happened? Tell me that and we'll sort it out. Why were you calling me? Again, then why I was calling becomes secondary because I did not get a good response, and this is how exactly the fight begins. So, if you really want to not feel upset in a direct communication, it is very important to have a communication in I language. What if in this situation I would have said that, you know what, I really tried calling you hard because I needed that OTP for that bank transaction. We are converting our account into savings to joint account, and for that I needed that. Now this is where I communicate in I language. I'm talking about my problem and I'm not talking about a person. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about me and me facing a problem. So the other person has more probability of understanding the issue, and the person might just say that, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that what was happening today. I'm really sorry, and let's sit and work. But I also got busy in the meeting. Here I'm not targeting a person. So whenever there is a communication in you language, the communication will almost always lead to a fight. Isn't it something that happens in the office and work scenarios also? Why didn't you do something? If somebody asks us, our natural response is, was I supposed to do it? मैंने करना जरूरी था क्या? मेरे पास टाइम नहीं था, मेरे पास बाकी डेडलाइंस थे, मुझे बाकी मीटिंग्स अटेंड करने थे, मैंने ही क्यों काम करना चाहिए? Instead, if somebody just says, oh my God, I was assuming that we were going to sit on it together. Okay, if you're busy, I'll just try to manage. you know what? The second person will feel guilty about it and will say, you know what? I'll not be able to do entirely on myself, but I won't mind helping you at all. So let us just sit and finish it off in next 10-15 minutes. So this way, I language is extremely important. When will you be able to use I language? The moment you start feeling blamed or guilty for the emotion effect, you will be able to manage the communication using this. Next is projection. So we are angry, but we keep on saying that others are angry, they are not giving me attention. There are further ways of not having healthy expression of emotion also, which is displacement. So I'm angry with my boss, but I get it out on my colleague. I am angry at my mother, but I try to vent out my anger on my colleague. I'm angry at my colleague, but I vent out my anger on my child. I'm angry and I vent out my anger on my pet. So here, I'm not trying to actually resolve the issue. I'm just trying to vent out my pent up emotion. This will not solve the problem in the long run. And imagine that next time the similar situation happens to your life, you are going to resolve to a similar kind of a solution, which doesn't really look to be a permanent solution. Sometimes people go on that self-pity mode that सारी life के problem मेरे ही बारे में क्यों है. There is another way which is called as self-sabotaging also, where you are absolutely prepared for doing something and you say that मुझे ये करना है, इसके लिए तो मैंने संडे का छुट्टी पूरा मतलब के लिए इस्तेमाल किया ताकि मंडे को मैं बिल्कुल फ्रेश हो जाऊं. लेकिन जब मैं मंडे वो चीज करने के लिए पहुंचू, कुछ ना कुछ हो जाए जिसकी वजह से ये इम्पोर्टेंट काम जो है वो मैं प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट करता रहूं, नहीं तो उसके इतने सारे डिटेल में चला जाओ कि वो काम एक दिन में ना ही हो. अगर ऐसा होता है इसका मतलब यू आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ स्ट्रेस. There is also something which is called as passivity. So if you are experiencing not feeling like doing anything, that also is a sign that you are experiencing some kind of stress. Some people as a coping mechanism choose to eat. काम नहीं हो रहा है, चलो यार जाके नीचे जाके खा के आते हैं. So that's their coping strategy. Sometimes it can work as first aids. Whatever right now I have explained to you are all first aids. लेकिन क्या आपने कभी सुना है क्या कि किसी को हार्ट अटैक हुआ है और ऑफिस के फर्स्ट एड बॉक्स यूज करके उसका हार्ट अटैक क्योर होगा? नेवर. सो फर्स्ट एड्स आर फर्स्ट एड्स. You can use them temporarily, but they cannot become a permanent remedy to you. So if you keep on using these solutions again and again, then probably it's very difficult to survive long-term mental well-being. Just a moment. I'm just checking the chats. Yeah. Okay. I was just speeding it a little bit because there's a very less remaining time. So now I am going to go to something which is very important, which offers well-being in a very long term. So when people say that, you know, emotions तो आने ही वाले हैं, तो क्या हम emotions को avoid कर सकते हैं क्योंकि negative emotions ना ही आए तो कितना अच्छा होगा? Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Emotions is a part and parcel of our everyday life, and those emotions are something which prepare us for fight or flight response. So if I feel afraid, then only I will start running. If I feel loved, then only I will start flirting with somebody. If I feel cared, then only I'll have another tiffin for my colleague. So basically, these emotions are extremely important and couldn't be avoided, neither at your workplace and nor at your individual front. But you can ensure that if you are in well-being, okay, if you are experiencing well-being, your negative emotions also won't damage you permanently. You will experience a negative emotion and you will come back to normal. So what all comes in subjective well-being? That's extremely important. So I'm explaining it right now. First and foremost, your emotions that you experience, happiness. your ability to create happy experiences should be good. In this era of WhatsApp, we send each other multiple smileys, like I'm so excited to meet you, blah 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 blah. But when you meet, you're like hi, and that's it. If we see somebody chirping with happiness, what is our first and foremost reaction? Hey, tone down, gir jao. So we are not even ready to experience happiness ourselves, nor do we allow somebody else. So please let's ensure that it is your responsibility to bring happiness in your life. Why should you feel bad about somebody not giving you surprises? Huh? And also sometimes for this happy emotion, we depend so much on this social media. Means just a small question to all of you. Why should your everyday begin with Instagram status of your friends? सुबह उठ के अलार्म बंद करने के बाद मुझे पहला इनपुट ये क्यों चाहिए यार, इसकी शादी हुई, ये तीसरी बार हनीमून को गया, इसे और एक बच्चा हो गया, इसको शायद बड़े जॉब कंपनी में जॉब मिल गया. If that thing is not making you happy, just shut that content out of yourself. For so many of us, we sleep with the mobile in our hands. The data that we see, it could be series, it could be status updates, it could be videos, it could be reels. They are sometimes emotionally so stimulating that your brain really does not need that kind of stimulation. So much of watching medias and reels make you understand that your life is just not like this. But trust me, whatever is seen on social media or in reels is definitely not something which is true. It is absolutely a show business. People who come to me for counseling fight like cats and dogs, and in the night I see their status as updated as how much love matters to them. Okay, so if that data is creating negativity in you, you have a choice not to watch that. Please try to avoid people who give you a lot of negativity. Be very assertive with them. जो लोगों के साथ आपको काम के लिए ही बात करनी है, you can choose to do that. But positive emotion is the crux of everything. Second is assertive communication. How often do we struggle in saying no? How often we say to ourselves, our own self-talk is so toxic that मुझे ये करना ही चाहिए. We have high expectancies of ourselves. मेरे ना एक दिन में ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए. And that time we are extremely happy for setting those high targets, okay? The moment we start falling away in this timetable, we start cursing ourselves, saying that अरे कुछ नहीं हुआ, I'm good, no, not good for anything, okay? Trust me, your my generation is always and always struggling for confidence. You know why? Because our parents have given us nice prashad. Okay, anything that we have done wrong, they have said you're dumb, you're good for nothing. Okay, इतना नहीं समझ में आता है एक सटायर. So कभी भी हम कभी भी गलत होते हैं ना, तो हमें लगता है कि मैं ही गलत हूँ. हम पहले ये नहीं सोचते कि वो एक्शन कैसे सही की जा सकती है. Okay, so whenever you have this self-negating thoughts to yourself, just look at your life situation from a third person's perspective. That will always and always help you. Whenever you communicate, try to communicate henceforth in your I language. Make good choices. Have choices. See, every choice comes like with a battle to fight. If you marry, that's a battle. If you don't marry, that's a battle. If you remain at home totally jobless, it is a battle in itself. If you work, you have to work, so that's another battle. If you have this job, probably you have a comfort. If you have that job, that you probably have a growth. So just wait for good timings in your life so that you can make well-informed choices. But till then, it's okay. You can't have everything in one single go. Okay? Next important thing for well-being is having balanced relationships. We do a lot because we have an influence of parental generation, which is your and my parental generation, who are superman and superwomen in their lives. But have you seen their work life? Where were they working? Probably in manufacturing companies, in banks, in schools, probably in colleges. Their work was literally 10 to 4. So they had lot of free mental space. They were more available. They were perfectionists, but they had time and mental energy to do everything on their own. Have you ever seen your parents? They're good at everything. They go on time, they're punctual, they're particular, their handwriting is still good, they're excellent at cooking, they're amazing at people management, everything they're good at. Don't compare your life with them. Try to have balanced relationships where you are also giving and you are also receiving. It is in terms of communication, favors, personal space. Give yourself me time. I tell that to all my clients, my colleagues, my parents, my teachers, all employees I interact with, that have me time where the screen time is not your me time. So it could be a physical activity, it could be a reading activity, it could be an early morning tea where you are not having any other thought and you are really mindful at that particular 20 minutes window where you are enjoying every sip of it. Otherwise, just look at your life. While you are taking a bath, you are thinking about office में time पे पहुंचूंगी कि नहीं. While you are driving and reaching the office, you are thinking about वो meeting में क्या present करना है. जब you are going into the meeting, आप सोच रहे हो कि अरे यार आज मैं टिफिन भूल गई नीचे जाके क्या खाना खा. So try to attain mindfulness. Be there wherever you are, and you will definitely feel much lighter and better. Talk to yourself positively. So always tell yourself that things are better. I am doing better. It is always helpful rather than saying that you are good for nothing. Okay.